Every song you've played so far I've loved, so I'm ready to hear another one, yeah.
Sweet. Such a nice guy.
Well, I recognize New York talent when I see it. They don't get this in the rest of the world. New Yorkers take it for granted a lot of times. I don't. So I ran into you just a week or so ago down in the subways.
Yes.
And I was struck because you really create a ambiance down there in the subways that no one else does. Like you turn it into a lounge. You turn it into what it you know.
That's exactly what I always wanted to be, was a lounge singer.
And weren't you? And then you became one, right?
I did singing waitress work, but you know, this isn't the 1920s where you have a club on every block, which is a lounge singer.
Okay.
So to become a lounge singer, you have to rent out a place, invite all your friends, and have a showcase. And I just would never do that. That's an imposition on my friends, and that's not a real gig.
Have you ever thought about going and work? Because I see places that have live music playing in them all the time around town here. Sometimes it's, you know, just a guy and a guitar and his wife with a, you know, something, or a saxophone or something.
And his wife.
Oh, you don't. I think no. The fact
It's really
is,
hard to find a musician that wants to do gigs.
you can't use the box just like you do down in the subway station.
I can, but you know what? It starts, it goes on to the long song. I guess that's why I feel secure down in the subway. I never thought I would. And everybody says to me, my God, you've got so much nerve to do that. I could never do it. Other performers, other singers. It does, because you're just putting yourself right out there.
Yeah, but you have enough character to enjoy it. Like I'm watching your videos, and like there was one point when I was recording you, and the guy came down, I was watching, and the girl took you away, and then you said the girls always take their boyfriends away from me, and then you have a good rapport.
They always take their boyfriends away. My sweet, embraceable you. I usually used to play off of people much more. Like there's a place on 52nd and 2nd, it's called Mimi's Piano Bar. And then I really play off of people. Or when I worked in the singing waitress places. But it's hard in the subway because a lot of people just want to be left alone. And you have to read them. You have to read them really well.
Sometimes, in my opinion, those are the best audiences, the street audience that kind of wants to be left alone, but you seduce them into enjoying themselves. Because that's what happens down there. You see, like if you watch, I've watched the videos, I have several videos of you singing songs down there, and you'll see people kind of bashfully looking and walking away. And then what happens is all it takes is one person to either start paying attention or filming or clapping or whatever, and then everyone else is like, oh, this is okay. For some reason I didn't think it was okay to watch someone perform in the subway.
These little towns,
It doesn't.
Embarrassed to make eye contact. My best audience are the kids, because children.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care. They're not embarrassed.
whatever the ones, Lola gets, and little Lola wants you. I always get what I aim for, and your heart and soul is what I came for. Whatever Lola wants, Lola gets, and little Lola wants you.
You were saying in the 80s you were doing a lot of lounge singing, and
I was a singing waitress at the Gaslight Club. That's where you wore Playboy bunny costume.
and where was that at?
And that was on 57th and 9th. They had changed locations. It was a very big nightclub. It was a speakeasy kind of motif.
Okay.
And we had to wiggle these beads around our necks and shimmy it down over our head and flip it back over our heads. I did it once. And I got a job. That was my first singing waitress job that I got.
Singing waitress.
And I was serving cocktails. And the manager used to rib me a lot. If you don't learn the dances, I'm going to fire you. And one day he comes to me and he said, you know, I was a warden before I worked at this job. He said, you make me laugh.
Ah, nice. Now, was this the job where you had told me you sometimes would dress up as famous pop stars like Madonna and Boy George and others?
After I left that place,
Okay.
after I left that place, I went to a place called Something Different. It was very famous in the 80s, 90s. It was right across the street from Catch a Rising Star.
All right.
And I got that singing Jailhouse Rock. I mean, I couldn't even sing in those days. I was just doing a lot of shtick.
Okay.
Sitting on a lot of guys' laps.
And comedy and stuff, a whole show?
A lot of comedy and doing a person can develop a cult with guys and dolls. Doing things like 10 cents a dance, which is about a dime a dance hall gal.
Okay.
So I would dress up in costumes and I developed Marilyn Monroe there, Dolly Parton, Boy George, and would make my own costumes. It was a phenomenal
And you would
place.
sing their hits. You'd sing like Karma Chameleon
That's
or
exactly what I
Borderline
sang.
or
I sang Karma
what was the Dolly
Chameleon.
Parton song?
Dolly Parton song was
What is her song? What is it? Jolene?
Jolene.
Jolene, there you go.
Exactly
That's her
what
hit.
it
That's
was.
her hit.
Oh my God, you remember Marilyn Monroe? I did Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Of course.
Dolly Parton, I started also doing singing telegrams around the city, the Western Union. And when I came in as Dolly Parton, my boss looked at me and just...
Did you have big fake?
I had balloons. He looked at me and said, you look like Marilyn Monroe. They're not big enough. I went home and my ex-husband said, put balloons in. I
that's
came
funny.
back, and he said, that's it.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had the wigs, and I had a little dressing room in the back that was just my own because I was the only one that was doing that. I do Let Me Entertain You and strip down to a bodysuit. You know, it was all very legit. I always did legit stuff.
I can tell. Now, how long have you been going into the subways and singing? Have you been doing that for a while or just recently?
The subway I started about a year and a half ago, and I go, and then I get disillusioned, and I wouldn't go again. And finally, when Mom died, I started going more and more for my sanity.
How long ago was that happened?
April 12th
This year, okay.
And it was very sudden. We were very close. Very close. We were like girlfriends.
Yep, I understand. And I can only imagine.
I'd sleep at the nursing home 3 days in a row on a blow-up bed. And it was right there where the dog run is that they called me and they told me she died suddenly. They said natural causes. It was a heart attack coming on from the day before and they didn't know it. That's why it's good that you'll be with your parents.
Yeah. Well, that's...
And so
I really enjoy my parents. I went through a period where I was a rebel and wanted to get away and wanted to prove myself and all that. But now I just enjoy their company so much and we get along so well and we agree to disagree on certain things, but we also relate to each other. We grew up together. You know, you spend your whole lives together.
having parents are very important. I lost my dad when I was 12, so my mother was my father and mother. So I'll tell you the truth, if it's not for the subway, I feel very, very alone. It's very alone.
Boy, I strongly...
I have a hole in my heart.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And I strongly encourage you to keep at the subway thing. Not only for your sanity and not only because it brings you so much joy, but I still think there's a chance you could be discovered. I mean,
Really?
you just are such a personality down there. I mean, there are people who go down there and I record them and they play guitar or they play their instrument of choice or whatever. But you really create a whole nightclub scene down there that's very unique. And that's why when I first saw you, I was like, I don't care how hot it is down here. I don't care if I'm in a hurry to get out of here. I need to know more about this, especially on my last days here in New York. I'm really happy that I found you and my camera.
I can't give you anything but love.
think your song, Embrace Me, that one is magic. And when I said the other day that that's your song, I mean, if you are ever asked what's your go-to song that you, and it sounds like it might have something to do with this. It was a song you shared with your mother.
My mother sang that in the nursing home. The pianist knew me from this Mimi's and got a job at the nursing home. So we would have concerts and ask me to be in his concerts. And he started asking Mom to be in his concerts.
Okay.
So she would always sing Embrace Me.
Was your mom a lounge singer as well?
My mother looked like Marilyn Monroe. She was in all the Kuchar films. She was a model in her later years, in the 30s.
What's her name?
Florine Connors.
Okay.
She's in all their beginning films. They started, these guys are now about 70, and they started when they were 16, just with a camera, and became teachers later on in life.
What decade or what era was this?
The 60s. They started in the 60s.
Okay.
One of them died. Mike died, but George died. But Mike's still alive. He's in California.
All right.
But they're called the Kuchar brothers. Two gay guys that were twins.
Okay.
Not identical. And my mother was their #1 star.
Here's to you, Mom.
Okay.
She was very cute.
Very nice.
And very young.
Okay.
So I sang to her.
What did you sing? What song?
I don't remember, but of course I was playing her a little because I wanted the money.
Yeah, of course. All right.
And she came up to me and like begging me for my card and begging me. And I didn't know what to say to her. I gave her my email address. I said, it's okay, I mean, that was almost my last. I have one card left that I want to make duplicates of.
Okay.
But that was kind of cute. I finally met somebody. It wasn't gender I usually would choose. It was cute.
I mean, just keep it's good to have people around and doing stuff with it.
I was flattered. It was nice.
I promise, if I were here longer, we would hang out and talk. And I feel lucky that I met you these last couple days. And I wish that
you almost bring tears to my eyes. I don't know why. I guess because somehow you remind me of my mom. I feel like my mom has sent you to me.
Well, I appreciate that. When I saw you down there's something in the way that you sing to someone that you can feel that coming off of you. And I felt that coming off of you. I felt a real connection with you, and I wanted to hang around. But I also knew I had to go, but I had your contact, and I knew where to find you. I was going to see you again, but there's that goodbye at the end of the video.
It's funny you asked me, was my mother proud of me? Well, my father was very proud of me. In fact, a little too much. I guess there was a little competition between my father and mother. And my father always boosted me up on this tremendous platform. I was this skinny little Jewish kid with a big nose. But I know she's very proud of me now. I know she's very proud of me. And I sang at the nursing home. And, I miss you, Mom. I'm going to dedicate this to you. I love you and I miss you so much. And thank God through Bob, I feel a connection to you. Every time I go down there, I look at, that picture that you drew for me, put on my poster. And I think of her and I look at her and I say, Ma, I'm not making money, and I hear her say, It's a waiting game. You have to wait. Because she used to be a street vendor in her 70s. She sold jewelry. And she's taught me that I have to wait. And the longer I wait, I start making money. So it's proved to me that at this age, I can still make a living. And I like to put smiles on people's faces. It makes me feel good to make somebody smile. And I'm glad I made you smile. I'm glad I made you.
Touch my heart.
Touched mine. And to Mom and Dad, you've got a terrific son. You've got a terrific son. And I know because I have sons. I wish you the best of luck.
How you doing, sweetheart? Thank you. It's old jazz. You know, it's from the 20s, but it's still jazz. So is this. This song has been sung by everybody. And it didn't go that style. Oh, you go, girl. You go, girl. Look at this one. The camera. All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? You took the part that once was my heart. So take all of me. So much, sweetheart. Take my lips, I'll never use them. Take my arms, you can't abuse them. Your goodbyes left me with eyes that cry. How can I? No idea, without you committing. All of me. Thank you so much. You're a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. Bob, thank you so much.